But then how did I, as a person, because I was a very rebellious teenager always. I never sort of played by the rules ever, and neither do I still. But I still, as you said earlier, live in this quote unquote world, do have a profession, and am married, have a family. So of course, if you're in a structured society, you do have to play by the rules. So how is a person who inherently can't play by the rules living in a world which is only driven by rules? So that is where I surprisingly, though many people say that okay, you surrender means a state of relinquishing everything, leaving everything, because now you're only surrendered to that one guru, that one power. But for me, I feel whatever I do, whichever rules I play by, I just know that no rule is greater than the consciousness within which those rules are existing. So that when you start thinking like that, you are not bothered by, okay, if you bend and touch the feet of your elders, that's a very common practice in India, especially after you get married. Or you may have seen in temples, people sort of lie down in front of a deity and put their head and roll in front of a deity. That to a someone who may not understand why it is being done, it may seem like subservience. But and to at many years back in my life seemed like subservience to me also, that why should I bend before someone like that? Any human being or deity. But gradually when I started reading our scripture, started hearing my master, I realized that there is just one consciousness. There is just one being. So whether it is in the form of a statue, whether it is in the form of a picture, whether it is form of a human being, or whether it is in the form of anything that is naturally visible in this world, it is just that one being which is reflecting through all that has been created. So how does it matter if you bend down before that one being? Because it is the same being bending and praying and offering its obeisance to that same being. So therefore, when you start understanding that there is only oneness in this world, there is no duality, there is no division, then what does it matter even if you play by the rules, or you don't play by the rules? You just know that there is just one being, and therefore you are not bothered by if somebody tells you that, hey, you need to do it this way. You're like, okay, I'll do it this way, but you can't change me from inside.
Mm,
So
beautiful.
that's where I feel that that is where the communion of a spiritual life and a worldly life is. If you understand a spiritual life, you can actually live your worldly life very beautifully.
Wow, I love that. And it's like because the spiritual life and the worldly life, it's just like you're saying, one life, one
Yes.
consciousness. And
Mm.
recently I came across the term, I was speaking with a fellow satsangi, I think it's Ananyabhakt,
Right,
where it's
right.
like, because when we think of devotion with our mental divisive mechanism, of course, it's like you're saying, why should I bow to that, making two? But correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it that Ananya Bhakt is just knowing that it's self worshiping self?
Yes, yes, definitely. Because Ananya means that Anya means separate, different, many. Anya means 1, 2, 3 million. Ananya, no separate, no
Mm.
separation, one. So the bhakt means the devotee. So the devotee who knows that there is no separation between him or her, and that being or that deity or that guru or that higher power to which he or she is devoted, there is no separation. When they truly understand there is no separation, that is the Ananya Bhakt. And so you can, it's in my experience, and I myself went through this thought process that if I do not live in an ashram, or if I do not live the quote unquote life of a renunciate, I cannot be a spiritual practitioner. That was I myself in my own journey of so many years. There was a stage and phase in my life, and I did struggle with that for many years. In fact, I used to feel as if I can either be in the world or I can be a spiritual practitioner. But gradually, as I have progressed in the practice and probably also progressed in age, I have seen that there is actually no difference. But you have to be solid in your spiritual practice. You cannot be fickle with it. So if you've been regular with it, if you've been consistent with it, as we discussed earlier, meditation and scriptural reading and listening to a spiritual master, talking to a group of satsangis, all of that sort of keeps you egged on the path, and that almost becomes like your life, and I mean, like your breath. It's a part of who you are. So it
Mm,
doesn't matter whether you are living in an ashram or you're living the life of a renunciate or of that of a worldly being. So Ananya Bhakti, as you're saying, an Ananya Bhakt can never divide in terms of where he or she is geographically located. Uh, Geographically located, not only geography that's defined on earth, but also geographically located, whether in heaven or on earth, as if there's a God in heaven and you are living on earth. No, Ananya Bhakt is the one who knows that all the power, all the oneness is within me as it is within any and everybody else. Just that one being. Therefore, I am devoted to that one being. And so I
mm,
can live anywhere, in any state, in any, with anybody.